So we are back. In our last chapter, we finished setting up the factory fuel supply. It now takes care of ensuring everybody has these little fuel blocks and we don't get saturated. So that is something that is indeed very neat. Now we can increase a bit more the production because I am not seeing a lot of hands moving in this column, so we need more iron. And we have two resting drills, so let's go ahead and set those up. I've noticed I have to do a better effort of talking louder. Let's see if I can adjust myself to that. So let's go and add the mining devices. In here I'm just doing a splurge because whatever. Not very symmetric. But we just want to like cut a line in the steel supply. And if we add more in a shorter area, they will take less time to deplete it, as well, their extraction mechanics is that they produce zero 0.5 mineral units per second, and that is supplied, I don't know, at random to the slots in the floor where it lives. I don't know if it's just a percentage probability. Like this one doesn't tell me how much of each stone it produces per second. So I guess it's a function of the area. I would think that, but I have no idea. Let's go. Oh yeah, let's empty that box so that it can continue to fill it in case we suddenly need an injection of copper or we have already successfully set up the train, which means this is a dead trap now. It is not a bad idea to wall it up. That's something that I want to do. In fact, it's something that I might do right now. It'll be very embarrassing to die out of, you know, not seeing the train I installed run me over. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a trauma. It has happened. Mm-hmm. So, what we have done here is that we have generated this area where we shouldn't walk. Just like that. Because you might get killed. Just like that. I mean, I know it's bad to bar yourself from a section of your base, but at the very same time, railguards are not a bad thing. They keep people alive. Not saying it's a very hard prohibition, we can always remove this wall, but it's harder to walk across the danger zone if the danger zone is walled up. How much steel do we have? Quite a bit. I think these guys have a lot of iron in them stored, and I wasn't wrong. Okay. So we increase the iron input, but we still have all these boxes empty, like this one and this one. I mean, this one will never fill up until bullets fill up here. So no. Well, so the only one we want to make sure it's is full is this one. If this one is full, it means that we are satisfied on well, not full, but if this one holds steel plates because they're not being consumed faster than when they can be stored in there, that means that we are satisfying our general production. So what we installed was not enough. Let's add a couple more drills. Let's make 3 drills. That might be too much, but we can like later stifle the flow. 1, 2. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. One thing I love about this game is there are so many ways to play it. Like, a lot of the time I just play games for my own satisfaction, and that's why I can do it for hours on end. And I'm not the kind of person that looks at anything online for the games he plays. If I look at things online, sometimes it's to see if there is a game that calls me. But if I like it, I have to play it myself. Like, that's just the way it is. 65 plus 64 is 120, and we only have 36 of this. We will stop this factory, and we will leave that one running. I mean, it's pointless to have one run ahead of the other, and I am not like rushing the tech tree. Like, I'm aiming more for a steady ability to progress through it and high resource availability rather than, you know, pouring all into it and having no money. Let's go ahead and do some more walls. Accelerate wall production. So what I'm going to do is put some boxes and some long reachers, and we will be able to like add a second source of, whoops, how would I power it now? Like this. Pretend the world is ending. There we go. Yeah, ugly. Let's fix it later. So now we want to bring a lot of stone into these boxes. There we go. So that's pretty much all of our stone. That's okay. Next thing, I mean, we have already a lot of rail, which is one of the main uses for stone. And I'm sure that we'll accumulate more for the next thing we require. Also, there is this planet that actually has a great surplus of stone all the time, like endless. Well, not endless, but very abundant. Okay. Okay, it seems right. Now, next thing we want to do is the sulfur we recently researched, which was what this one, We require it for batteries, which is one of our main goals, so that we can get drones. Drones are your friends. Drones makes life easy. Drones lets you not think. So there we go. If the train starts, it starts going forward and then it makes a loop. So walking from behind him is kind of safe. There we go. It's gonna take a bit longer than that. I'm thinking that I'd rather fix the fuel pad right now. Like, instead of having it inside, I will run over it a wall. Oh, let's not remove it before reinstalling it. That's a good lesson. So you can add one of these underpasses. Yeah, this is good enough. There we go. So now it's a single feeding line. And what I was thinking is that I can kind of like, I mean, I'm walling myself in, right? My objective is not to walk in this area. Don't need to enclose the outer side. Now this is a single pad. And it fits the train, which uses real small amount of fuel. I'm picking it up. Kind of like this. A few more walls. Okay. So I was thinking that I want to give boxes to the boilers so that they don't just like feed on the band. They are actually full. Like really stocked. You never know when a little bit of power can back you up. Especially while we ramp up to be able to run decent laser defenses and an energy provisioning. I mean, the game makes you do some choices when it comes down to energy, but I don't want to get ahead of myself because let's just talk about what we're doing and slowly unfold the game, right? So that's that. Our boilers are improved. They are now not just working on boilers powered by solid fuel, but now they got the ability to store quite a bit of fuel, solid fuel. Okay. What else do we want? Very well. Oh, we finally got plastics. That's what we were waiting for. How is the science packs going? 35, 73, 24. So that's 35 against 90. It's okay for there to be 2 versus 1 for a while. So, what to do? What to do? What to do? We have already the ability to produce more chemical plants that will do 2 more things for us. I mean, not just 2, a few. The first one is the one that produces sulfur. Sulfur is some sort of catalytic for more than one chemical reaction and very used in electricity, particularly batteries. Batteries are necessary for both the general things that install as constructions that allow you to put some charge in them, and they also exist as a tool to build drones, tool to build electrical turrets, laser turrets. So they are very good in general. Now that we have our plant, let's just put it up there and check what are the requirements. We have these 3 new recipes, which is sulfuric acid, plastic, and the little sulfur stone. The little sulfur stone is the first because with that we make acid. And plastic just requires the already produced petroleum gas, but also requires a coal. That's one of the reasons why we want to set apart our coal for only plastic and explosives. Now, sulfur requires petroleum gas as well, so we need a lot of petroleum gas. Right now we only have this processor, and it goes pretty slowly and it fits the way it needs its receptor. But we can tell that the real limit to the production is not the processor, but the source. Its rate, you can see to the right, it transforms 20 oils from those that we get 50,000 a trip into 9 petroleum gas per second. Is that petroleum gas? What is that called again? Petroleum gas. Okay, yeah. So, while this can take in up to 20 per second. So just to feed this to full capacity, we will need to have 3 stacked up refineries, 3 lined up refineries. Quite a bit, huh? And then the other 2 things also consume petroleum gas, so that's gonna be a thing. Now, since plastic is absolutely necessary, the other things like fuel and sulfur are not so much of a problem, but plastics are needed in volumes for cards and circuits and some other things. So we have to thinking of ramping up this. Start thinking of ramping up this oil refining process. Let's see. For now, we can kind of safely ignore this area. I believe that we might be missing a little bit of copper there. Let's see how the system looks like. Just hold on for a second. I have seen the light. We're gonna stop a couple of these guys. I mean, it's not terrible. We'll get over it. But I was about to check how is bronze doing. Copper. So we're consuming 50 to 80 and we're producing 57. So it seems that we are like at our limit. Let's restore the... I'm gonna re-enable the two I just disabled, and I'm gonna disable the three behind, and I'm gonna reactivate one of the bronze ones. You have a nice overflow. Let's switch the materials. Okay, I'm certain that something is going to need steel and iron bars, and we can build that down here. Like this. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what's that, but I'm certain there will be. Okay. So, as I was saying, we shouldn't mine too much this area. We're gonna see a copper increase. We're gonna see a iron decrease. Fuel should not be too scarce. No, we have a problem. We have to do something like this. No, like, think about it. How would you do it? I would do it perhaps with the other type of hand. I need steel bars. Oh, here they are, steel bars. Like, think about it like this. No, it's easier. How? Let's assume I remove this. I could, and I paste. Same dynamic. But this time, you got an inserter. So you know you're getting in. There we go. It's not properly connected. Ah, of course, the splitter stops. Of course, the splitter stops. Remove the splitter. Remove this box. Whoa, that was quite a bit of coal produced and stored. Didn't expect that to be so quick. And do the same thing. We want to cut and paste. Okay. There we go. Yeah, got it. So what we've done is that it will continue to feed up to 50. Hey, I'm gonna do it back again. This is kind of to ensure there is like continuous flow from all inputs. You saw 3 blocks coming from the top, and that stopped it. Let's see if it's properly reading. Well, yeah, there is 55 blocks. Okay, so let's see if we can go back to ignoring this. Let's just take a quick look at production on the left hand, consumption on the right hand. Consumption is very stable among iron ore, but production varies wildly. 261, 330 to 10. Right now we are to 10, so that was below the consumption rate, which is interesting. How can this be so stable? Because we had more, like by reducing. Yeah, I guess that saturation helped. And what if we add a wire that connects one of the previous splitters to the same source? Like, which one? This one. Wow, that cannot be connected to the wire. That's interesting because it's a cutter. So interesting. But I can connect this one. So according to my theory, if the amount of items in the transporter band and the buffer band is below 500, the input opens. That means that we get iron ore, copper ore, coal, and stone placed into the main band of the system as it has always been. Coal still gets a pass, but it will get like stuck because of the other stones very quickly when this occurs. And the thing is that if 500 items live in the band, then the the mechanism stops the flow. If we think about it, 10% of the contents of the vent will be fuel because this one is measuring for it to have 50 fuel at stops. Obviously, we have an excess right now because of what is sent to the returning band and placed back into the system. But it's gonna be always less than 50. Well, I mean, a little bit above 50. Let's say between 150. And then that leaves 400 for the other materials. I would like to see you to stop I would like to create a something that allows me to see the value in the circuit. But for now, we'll have to trust it and take a look at it later on the graphics and whatnot. We have the batteries finally. That's an amazing progress. And this is the what will allow us to entirely stop burning fuel at night in the ovens. Boilers. These ones are just better furnaces. But I think I might just skip them and move straight into electrical ones. That's gonna take a while because we require the next type of technology, red chips. But that's actually going to be our current goal. We do want batteries because batteries let you, as I said, not burn any fuel for electricity. You still have to deal with the contamination made by the consumers of electricity. But well, one target at a time, right? These guys right here are feeding on my pollution. I mean, that's one way of putting it. 245 current pollution levels, mostly coming from mining drill and ovens, furnaces. So pumping is also up there. Assembling and boilers are not the main problem. But we know we want to increase the oil refinery, perhaps 3 to 4 oil refineries. I'm not certain of that. So there's also that there's a limit to the fuel rate we get. Like right now, the bottleneck is the refinery, but after how many, the bottleneck would be the production, right? That's something we will face quickly. It's not a theoretical. We'll face it. Over time, my pollution has only increased as my mining operations increase. That's normal. Up until we get to the efficiency modules, we are kind of like stuck in this ramping up process. That's also why I don't want to do like a lot of extra industry. It seems okay, like this up here does not seem saturated, and this down here seems quite full. Let's hope for it to work and focus on the next thing. So the next thing is going to be that plastic. I mean the solution to all of those theoreticals we were setting before. I think you have made enough stone walls for now. I mean, you never know when you're gonna need it, and there is no rush on having more walls. One thing I've noticed is this is empty because it's filling the boxes. Still a long way to go, 677 stored. The one over here is quite okay, so that there's no worry about it. Yeah, you know, deja vu, right? That happens because of the bad saving strategy that I have, which is not mining properly saving. Plus minus the web thingy. So what I was thinking is like installing the entire thing in the mirrored way in the other side because I'm lazy. No, because it's very convenient. It's an awesome feature of this game, like cannot be understated. Like, that's not what you had in mind. Of course, that's what I had in mind. I mean, I have more ample space. No, of course not. I want it to be symmetrical, so I just hit V and it inverts. Amazing, huh? And how far away is the right far away? Maximum distance, right? Let's calculate that like this. That's it. Now let's use that as reference for copying. Let's walk all the way over here. Stay away from the train. Press M and work from the map. We copy like this. Smaller area. The critical area. And then we rotate and then we invert. And the position is here. Voila. I said voila. That's amazing. Now let's go ahead and install everything up. We have to build it first. So that's one of these. 3 of those. 3 of those as well. We will finish walling this up at about this height. How many? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then wall. What do we need? More iron. We can take iron from these boxes. So that should be enough. Okay. Remember, it's not just to be annoying, it's to protect your life. There we go. Slightly encroached storage barrels. Tall tower to bring power, smaller towers to distribute it. So we're gonna bring the coal straight into the plastic factory, and that's gonna do a big one for us. And all we have to do is retard these guys. Yeah, we're not even gonna feedback, like that can be stored in there for a while. Mm, we might need to reinstall the thing. That stores it. If it backs up. Something like this. You know, just in case. So with that, we have passed the coal feed directly to the... I think that the easiest thing to do would be to connect circuits for the things that pick up the coal and put it in boxes and place it connected to the band that brings in the coal, and that should take care of it, because all we have to do is to measure how much coal is full coal, and then we store it, right? That's actually like a very good idea, so we're not gonna do the other solution. Although we're not gonna do that solution yet, we have to wait for the thing to fill up so that we can just measure the amount of... There we go. It feels like when you are given like a drawing and told which colors to use in which areas, something like that. I mean, it's not bad. Found it a bit relaxing. Okay, so now we have two consumers of oil. One gives us the fuel that gets our electricity backup production going, night production going, which are the steam engines, and the other one is going to produce for our plastic generation. Plastics, where to use them? It's a good question, because we require a... I mean, to make cards, we will require copper to make copper wiring, and steel plates to make chips, and then plastic to make red chips. Red chips are your friends. On top of that, they take a bit to craft. So if you want to do stuff that is somewhat advanced, and therefore you need to use red chips, and you want to do them yourself, even if you got the plastic and can do them by hand, like very hard. So we would like to have a zone that is properly fit, steel and copper. So on one hand, we could try to extend from here, but I am under the impression that we would be badly served for that if we do that. I would rather like install its own intake process, because take a look at this, and this can satisfy its current needs. Like, this is a low level satisfaction band, and these are satisfied, okay, not satisfied. This cannot be satisfied until this box is filled, and it's a long way to go. And we don't really have that much metal on that. Like, those 600 on each box would translate into about what? It takes 4 to make a single ammo round. So that's 120 among 4. That's like what, 30 rounds? So yeah, that's not gonna fix the problem. If anything, I'd say that I could raise the number so that it's above 500, because I believe that this might be a bit too, like, I don't see this stopping the flow from behind it, meaning that the thickness of volume we see here, it's okay. Oh no. And well, I mean, like, we have a significant amount of copper there, like returning, meaning that these ones are not being able to manage all the input. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a circuit, same band, and that circuit is going to decide whether to pass or not pass the signal. I'm going to use a particular type of pause for that, so that I know that these guys are meant for this and not meant for the other things. So what is done is that we take a circuit, measure from the same place, go to the post, the other post, the other post, and here. So you will enable and disable based on the amount of mineral that lives over there. That's too much. You will only enable yourself if that is less than 100. That's it. So now, no more. Oh yes, we will get this copper from here. But let's see how this operates for a little while. Like right now, it's providing us a reading of 200 copper. Let's let it be for a little while. Right now, as you can see, the entire thing is stopped. Over 500 items are in the band according to this. I don't think that's right. There must be a misreading on the circuit. Something I made. Perhaps due to the last band I set. It is indeed lowering. Let's wait for this to continue to lower and we'll see what's up with the rest later. Oh, it's being backed up because of this. So this is one of the things we wanted to do, right? We will connect the circuit to it. And we'll tell it like, you read the bit content of all the belts. And you check of that signal the copper part. Yay, we have the batteries. So when this one is greater than 600, greater than, you take in. So they are gonna take coal based on the number going up to 600. As you can see, they can't because because I mean, like the full capacity of the band, it seems to sit at 670, 660 something. So they are remain activated and will remain activated as long as there's coal here in up to this section. So I should move a bit of this coal aside to store it, because as you saw, it can back the wall system up. I can just reduce the coal production, yes, as with everything. But that's not what we're aiming for right now. Okay. It's still lowering the count of reds. Now let's go ahead and see how is blue doing. Hey, take a look at that. That's strange, isn't it? I think I have to lower the amount from 500 to something more reasonable, like 300. Now let's shoot it for 400 for now. This is the one. It's less than 400. I mean, see that coming back bend? This 50 is too high. We're gonna keep it at 10. Why? Because we're just talking of this part of the band, not the entire cycle. So take a look at that fuel saturation there. 10 in the band, it's quite a bit. Remember that fuel is burned very slowly. Takes a long while to actually deplete a single line, a single block. Okay. So my take, let's go ahead and see how much bronze is there. Bronze ore is there on the mine. We're still lowering the count, which is desired. And at some point it's just going to be 100 and it's going to be filling in with more. You saw that? That could have meant that. Of course, if there wasn't a wall and I was like, wait, oh my god. Yes, I can walk through. Oops. So, oh yeah, that's okay. Let's just not walk in there, and that's it, right? Let's not need more walls. We have accumulators. Now we have needed red chips. How are we doing on the research pack side? We have 123 and we have 31. So I guess it's time to reactivate this one. And I know they will catch up. but we will refill its sources. Yeah, to be fair, this is the biggest resource consumer in the game, like science. Okay, very well. So how many are there in the band right now? 80 something. Yeah. Let's wait. How many are there in the band now? 143. It seems that it is not going down. How is Blue doing? Blue is doing fine. On the return, it seems alright. Blue is barely making it to the end of the line. So we will reinstall one drill. Yeah, we could also try to automate that, but I think that our current system should be good enough. Let's reinstall all of them. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do this. Okay. So with what we've done, we have ensured the old satisfaction. How is oil doing down there? Halfway through. And how is oil doing in my train? 1/3 of the way through. Okay. So that means we are emptying slower than what we are consuming, but we have yet to produce plastics. So that's not good enough reference, good enough measurement. I mean, yes, the factory said, but we are not consuming the production, and therefore not more are being made. That's why we will start with our buffers. Did I mention we like plastic a lot? We're gonna need quite a bit of bands. But that is assuming I'm sending it back to my factory. The reality is that I think I might try to operate it somewhere around here. I mean, one of the things is that when it comes down to copper, we have always overproduced. Like we have made 19,000 and we have used 15,000, which essentially means we have like 3,000 left somewhere around there. Okay. So the composition looks interesting. Less red. It went below 100 and it lets allow the production of this to go in. So it should go back up to 100 because we are also seeing that getting back there. This part with a lot of fuel. You saw the fuel consumed, right? But there's still over 10 in the band, according to the measurements. 68. There, yes, quite a bit of them. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do something interesting. I don't think I want to do another oven system. I believe I would rather try to use the bands, the production bands from this, the existing ones. We will later redo. So we have this a feed from. Sorry, we just have to set this up. We have this feed from copper from up here, and with this feed from iron from down here. We will move it on. We will pass it down a band, and we will create a new factory down here. That is gonna have the plastic that comes out from the. Perhaps I don't do it down here because we've said this could be the space for steam. Perhaps I just move the new metal band all the way over here, so I can use this area, and leave the oil processing south, chips in this left hand side of the factory. This can continue to extend with the steam engines if needed. How's the power graph looking like? The 10-minute cycle seems perfectly fine. Top consumption seems 1.5 megawatts. So yes, that seems to be the option I'll take. So how does that look like? We bring this down. We bring this forward. Look at that. Yeah, we remember when we lost that piece a few videos ago, a few hours ago. Not so far below. At about this height. Okay. So now we just need to pass the resources through the trail rails. I believe that the way I would do it is like here, 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 here. Now let's do this here, 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 here. There we go. That's the thing with these walls, you know, like you can just like pluck them off. So are they even walls at all? Okay. So this seems like a good input. Lots of plastic, metals, fusion, fuse. We have research advanced circuit. That's amazing because that's exactly what we're setting the factory up to produce. So the first stage of this is the copper. Copper must be turned from its presentation as, how can I call this, plates to be wiring, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So this one does the wiring. I don't know how to manage it. I guess we can like do a run back. Or like do a parallel line, something like this. Okay. How is science doing? I mean, we have 27 and 8 how many? 18? That's 30, 40, 40 something. And 69. Okay. We're kind of like coming back to it. We can let it rest for a little bit. Well, rather than letting it rest, I think that we're actually gonna like go straight into the efficiency modules, because efficiency modules are gonna let us spend less energy, not just at energy creation, but at energy in its usage as manufacturing or anything like that. So that actually looks neat. I mean, not necessary, but I guess. So the green chip requires iron and copper. We have iron and copper. And the red chip requires plastic, copper, and electronic circuit. So the first thing we have to do is electronic circuit. Okay. So copper comes in, becomes wiring. It's fed on almost straight into the green chip machines. We can have another green chip machine, I think. I think that we're gonna like push everything one space to the left. Like all the thingies here. And why did we do that? Because we want to create a bit of space between the machines so that they can be more stable. Not more stable, like better powered. I mean, like until we create the thingy, we need it. That's interesting. Like it only allowed me to delete the ones that I was already set to delete. I just don't remember the setup. So what was that? We had a filter, and this filter only allowed the steel to pass. Yeah. And that was that. Okay. So what have we achieved in here? Oh, we're running a little bit over an hour. So let's go ahead and try to wrap it up. I mean, not that it really matters, right? It's just that I find it easier to process like that. You know, comment, Keep it in your mind in some way. Okay, this seems alright. There we go. Okay, so we will wrap it up in here. We have successfully set up this mini factory of chips. Um, we had already done something up here. I don't have to run all the way there. Where we were storing chips, which is alright because I may come here to grab chips by hand every now and then. But from now on, the steel and the copper we process in these two lines. That's okay, these two lines. Because this steel is doing real little, to be honest. So we're gonna like pull it out on the other side. Well, we're gonna do that in the next chapter. But anyhow, the you can tell that steel bars are behind, right? I mean, it's gonna like top off because there's no boxes, so it's just what it can place on the bands, and we will have to check the production amounts and whatnot. But we'll leave that for next chapter. As for now, we are on our way to getting the modules, and we are on our way to finishing the red cards. So let's save it up. Oh, let's save it up. Yeah, let's save. Taped one. Yay. Taking a break, coming back in a bit. Thank you guys. Bye bye.